Los Angeles Bigfoot in above L.A. in the Angeles National Forest, overlooking the great city of the Angels.
Now, I'm not too familiar with the Angeles National Forest. What I am familiar with is the Santa Monica Mountains. And Santa Monica Mountains are right above Malibu.
Yeah, that would be a little bit further to the west of this.
And then you have, like, mountains. It's not... The Hollywood Hills are not... I think literally or technically part of the Santa Monica Mountains, but they kind of follow to the east. They're in the same...
Yes, it's a smaller mountain range than the Angeles National Forest, which is a much bigger mountain range.
And so how far above Los Angeles, how far above Hollywood, let's say, is the Angeles National Forest?
The Angeles National Forest is probably about an hour north, and then it's up, higher elevation. You have Mount Baldy. There's from San Bernardino all the way, and then tying into the Santa Monica Mountains. L.A. is kind of bordered by a mountain range to the north of it.
And that's the Angeles National Forest.
That is the Angeles National Forest, correct.
Okay, we're talking about Bigfoot possibly building structures. We don't know but we're just talking about the...
Well, we're making an assumption here, and I think it's a damn good one by what we're seeing in the picture.
Now, could Bigfoot... That's another thing. Could Bigfoot produce music? We talk about Bigfoot banging trees and stuff like that.
Well, how do we know that's not some sort of communication? It certainly seems to me like that is a form of communication, whether he's trying to communicate with the human population and or other clans in the area.
Well, I think it's fair to say, I think people have surmised that it is some form of communication, but is it music? Could that be considered music? I mean, what is music? Tapping.
Yeah, that's a good argument. It's definitely a good argument. I mean, I don't think they're using the rocks for music. I think that's more of a weapon.
Well, rocks in what regard? Throwing them at people?
Well, I think they aren't they? Isn't there tales or stories?
Yeah,
of throwing rocks.
Yeah, throwing at rocks at people is certainly not music. But every generation has, the younger generation has their own form of music, and the older people say that's not real music, or that's not.
So are you
music.
saying this could be an experimental situation?
Well, I'm saying that when rock and roll came out,
rock and roll is like violent. Could have been considered violent, right?
Yeah, well, when rock and roll came out with the Rolling Stones and Beatles and everything like that was frowned on by the older generation. Then you had the punk rock was even more more extreme. Then you had rap's crap or whatever some people say. And then who knows what's next? Well, who's to say that Bigfoot's form of music is not legitimate? Hitting logs on the side of trees. Is that a legitimate form of music?
It's either, and music, you could say music is communication, and that could be part of it.
Yeah, music is communication. So, but what is music then? I mean, you'd have to have a definition.
I don't think you can define music. I mean, there's a lot of different things. I mean, that you can make music with. Trash cans, for instance.
Yeah.
Anything could be music.
So it might be fair to say that the tree banging and tree knocking is Bigfoot's music.
And we just said that music is communication. So, hey, there's two birds with one stone.